In 1955, when Stanley Remelmeyer first came to Torrance as a young Harvard Law School graduate, he had no intention of staying.
I wasn't sure whether I wanted to stay here. Again, I thought I'd spend a few years in Los Angeles and go back to Seattle.
And after specializing in oil and gas law and taxation, Remelmeyer had also planned to spend his career in the private sector.
I had several offers from law firms and some other public jobs that would have paid more money during my career, but I loved being city attorney of Torrance, and I never felt being deprived economically. The city paid me a living wage. If I didn't like that, I could get out anytime I wanted, but I wouldn't have found practicing law in a private law firm nearly as interesting as being city attorney of Torrance.
When Remelmeyer first came aboard, Torrance was a small town dotted with oil derricks and flower fields. Hawthorne Boulevard was just a two-lane street. But under Remelmeyer's forward-thinking guidance, Torrance grew to dominate the South Bay and is one of the largest cities in Los Angeles County. Recognizing the importance of open space, Remelmeyer devoted his legal ingenuity to acquiring parks. Parkland more than tripled from 100 to 350 acres and involved some landmark legal battles going all the way to the state Supreme Court. Acquiring Miramar Park, where the Hollywood Riviera Club used to stand, was a stroke of genius. Known for his thorough and meticulous research, Remelmeyer dug up an old English common law that enabled the city to take over what was privately held land.
The city and the county together engaged in a lawsuit to acquire that property, which a trial that went on for about 6 months, very difficult lawsuit. But the city managed, and the county, managed to acquire the property. Incidentally, without having to pay for it. And that's, when I go by there about once a week, I walk on the Esplanade, I look at that and I thought how fortunate it was that we acquired that instead of having a big building there.
Remelmeyer was also instrumental in opening up Torrance Beach to the public.
We didn't want the upland, we only wanted the sandy beach, which we succeeded in getting. And over the years, I think that's been a great thing.
Remelmeyer was in the heat of battle between pilots and homeowners over airport noise. But after noise ordinances were passed and land acquired that was then converted to commercial use, a compromise was reached.
I'm not sure I invented them, but I made a study of the situation and wrote ordinances for the city council that permitted them to keep the noise down. Yes, and those ordinances have stood the test of time.
In the late 70s and early 80s, Remelmeyer refereed the long-running battle between environmentalists and developers over Madrona Marsh. When it came time to wire Torrance for cable television, Remelmeyer's expertise and impeccable timing enabled the city to negotiate a landmark cable franchise that's considered a model for other cities. After completion of the Telecommunications Center in 1987, it was named after Remelmeyer in his honor.
Yeah, I feel it's great. I have an ego, like everybody else, and yeah, I'm very proud and happy. It's a wonderful thing to have a building named after one in one's lifetime.
Remelmeyer's career came at a time of explosive growth in Torrance.
But Torrance was developing, and that made it very interesting. Torrance went from 20,000 to 100,000 in just a few years. And we got hospitals, and then the Del Amo Center, and Union Bank Tower as time went on. And the development of the city was very interesting to me, with all the problems. And the council members and myself always got along fine. The council was good to me.
Ever since he was a young boy, Remelmeyer had wanted to be a lawyer.
I just can't remember a time when I didn't want to become a lawyer. I think perhaps I was interested, I studied history, and I was interested in the fact that a lot of the people who made history were lawyers.
There's no doubt Remelmeyer has made history. More than any other city employee, he has shaped the evolution of Torrance from a sleepy little town to the fourth largest city in Los Angeles County.
Thank you, Stanley, for your contributions to our city. It's with great honor that the City Council of the City of Torrance presents Stanley E. Remelmeyer with the distinguished Jared Sidney Torrance Award. And Stanley, on behalf of the citizens of my county,